Hey guys, GamerGory123 here, and today I'm gonna be making a video on Scratch again. What's new? Actually no, this is the second Scratch video on my YouTube channel so far. Yeah. You'll see a lot more of these in the future. Today, I'm gonna be teaching you how to code Scratch. Wait, what? No. Mega Man games in Scratch. So by the end you should have something like this. Yeah, you should have something like that by the end. Oh god, it's laggy. Hopefully it's not laggy in the video, because if it is, I'm gonna be sad. Anyways, let's start the tutorial. So the first thing we're gonna be making is the engine. So we're gonna be making the engine. Alright, so let's get started with that. So we need to paint a new sprite, zoom in, and just make a box. Perfect box. You can do this by holding shift. We can edit this later. So this is going to be our hitbox, and we're also going to make a new. We're also going to paint another one, and then just take some random boxes, and this is going to be our test room. I like setting up ones like these with 2 in the middle and then 1 up top, because then that lets me use these as walls, and then here for the ceiling. So we need to center that. So make both positions go to 0. And then we're just gonna drag our hitbox up here and center that to 0 on the X. And we're ready to begin coding. So we're gonna make, when green flag clicked, we're just gonna set it to our position where it is now. So that'll just send us to the top of the screen when the game starts. And now we're going to make a few more variables. We're going to make a few things. So first we need to add a forever loop. This is where it gets tricky. We're going to go to make a variable and call this one player for speed. Click OK, make a block, and we're going to call this gravity. And then add an input, let's call it speed. Now drag our gravity block into the forever loop. And let's set this input to -1. Now we go here, add change y by 10. We're going to change it later, so don't worry. Then add this change player full speed by. So we're going to change y by. We got to drag the player full speed from here, change Y by player full speed, and change full speed by speed, this speed. So we're gonna use this speed, and we're gonna set, and then we're gonna change the player's full speed variable by that. So we're just gonna take player's full speed and then take one away from it, and then just keep doing that every frame. And now what this will do is just make our hitbox just fall, but we don't have any collision, so it'll just fall straight through indefinitely. Oh, and we should also put the set player full speed to 0 at the start. Now we've got a problem. He just keeps falling and he doesn't interact with the floor. This is an issue. So, to fix it, first thing we're going to do, we need to right click on our define gravity, click edit, and add run without screen refresh. Now this makes it so that all the scripts in here will just happen at once, rather than just like one at a time. All the scripts will happen at once. Now this doesn't help at the moment, but keep it like that, because now we gotta add our touching ground script. So we go like this. If we are touching the ground, sprite 1 as it's called for me. Actually, let me just quickly change that to level. Now this is my level and this is my hitbox. Just gonna bring you back up here. There. So if it's touching the level, we need to check if our full speed, so remember, get our full speed from here, player full speed, if it's less than 0. So we need to check if it's less than 0. We do this because this is going to determine if we're touching the ceiling or the floor. So we need to grab a repeat until not touching level. So if it's less, that means it's falling. So we need to go back up, and we add a change Y by 1 here, and in the else we set it to -1, and you save that, and we've got our gravity working. Ooh, that's a big problem. We forgot to reset our full speed. So after this, we need to put a set player full speed after, and now it should work. You'll see it flickering, and that's what it's supposed to do. So if you see player full speed flickering, then you've done it. Okay, now we need to make jumping. Luckily this one's way easier. I get gravity in first because the gravity script is needed to make the jump script. So we just make a new block, call it jump, and add an input and call it speed. Now I put it next to the gravity one. I'll set the jump to 13, and now we need if. You can set this to any key, so you can set it to space or whatever. I'm gonna use it Z. So if Z key is pressed, then we need, this may look a bit finicky, but don't worry about that. So we need to change the y by -1, and then we need to check if we're touching the level. So if we are, so at the moment it would go down. If we're touching the level, we'd have to put something in here. So what do? We grab our player full speed and set it to a positive number. That way it goes up instead of down. So now we drag this in here, and then afterwards we need to change the y by 1. So now we can jump. Right, so now we can jump. All that we really need to do now is walking. We're gonna do the simplest method, and this one works actually quite good, so we're gonna use this one. We need to go make a new block, call it run, add an input, speed. Why we need the inputs is so we can just change it inside the block like this. So I'm gonna set run to 6. That way we can just have it in there rather than using pointless variables. We need the player full speed variable though, because that changes. These ones are going to be static. So we need, in our run script, we need to add an if key. I'm going to use right arrow for moving right. If key right arrow is pressed, we need to change the X by speed, and then we need to check if we're touching the level. Then we need to change X by 0 minus speed. Now what this will do is basically, if we're pressing right, it'll move us speed, so it'll move up 6 pixels or whatever, and then if we're touching the level, it'll push us back, so it's like we haven't touched it. So that's the collision with the walls. Now we need to swap these around for the left arrow, and we have finished the main simple engine. Now I can just jump and run. Oh, I may need to make this platform shorter. Perfect. Okay, now I can go back in, and ceilings should work. I may need to move my platform down a bit, or make just another cube here. That's better. Okay. Now you should be able. You should also be able to jump into ceilings, and it automatically detects you're touching it, and you're fine. Okay. So that'll be the end of this episode. In the next one, I will show you how to get animation. See ya!